And we are live. Should I sing again?
No.
You shut me down so quick. I was like up here and he just shot me down. How about you sing this time?
Shorty getting down. Good Lord. That's all you get.
Aw, well, I was excited for more. Well, thank you for joining the Hollastic Life with Jay and Jay.
Holla.
Holla, mahala. We're so excited you're here. Thank you so much. Happy Sunday. It's June now, and summer is really kicking, so I hope you're already enjoying your summer. We want to say thank you for joining us. With all these shows, please remember to invite, like, and share. Turn it off.
I'm trying to. Sorry.
Please remember to like, invite, and share, and continue to invite your friends to the magic of the J&J Holla Show. So last week, we talked about Healthy Living Part 2. We talked about superfoods.
Superfoods are yummy.
They are yummy.
They are awesome. And hopefully we gave you guys some, maybe some stuff you're already doing. Like, you know, the blueberries, the cinnamon, some stuff you didn't know were superfoods. And hopefully you found some new ways to incorporate those into your diets and the weird stuff that we introduced you to as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, right. Superfoods, awesome. And the healthy. Well,
hold on, I wanted to hit something on the superfoods. So on the superfoods, I wanted just to laugh because we had some fun conversations last week.
You had some fun conversations.
We both did. And we talked about like some of the superfoods and, you know, like something that had a special name.
Yeah, the pond scum.
The pond scum. So if you want to learn why pond scum is a superfood, go to last week's video. That's all I'm saying. All right. Anyways, so the other thing that we launched last week was the Healthy and Happy Reboot. And so just wanted to share, like, this is a really powerful opportunity for you to reset your life, reset your thinking, reset what it is that you're like flowing with, because all I can say is that ever since I started playing softball again at a higher level, I am so grateful that I did the reboot because it really helped me to nudge myself back on track. And I think we played like 10 or 12 games over the past 2 days. So I actually felt good. Like I had energy. I was able to go. And I had like the stamina well, that's also comes from working out, but like, I was able to use the products and I was able to use some of the tools that I learned to help me get through and continue to have energy. And, you know, last night we went to bed at like 12:30 and our game was at 7 a.m. this morning. So we had to be out there early. I mean, it was a quick turnaround and I used some of the products from the reboot to help me so I could be on and ready. So if you want to get an invite to the Healthy and Happy Reboot, we are definitely wanting you to get that invite, and it starts on June 18th. So let us know, comment below, message us, and we'll make sure you get an invite.
All right, guys, we want you to interact. This is a live show, so you can interact. So if you're watching live, let us know you're watching live. Even if you're watching the replay and something catches your attention, comment down. We do our best to get back to those comments. We love them. If we say something that you like, hit, you know, the little laughing face, the heart, the thumbs, you know, we want to see those pop up on the screen. So interact. This is what this is for. Interact. And because we love interacting, Jenny especially loves interacting. And how many of you guys would listen to a podcast if we did it? It was just throwing that out there. I want to post on the conversation, like if we did a podcast, like, you know, maybe call it the Hollastic Podcast or something like that.
It's come up multiple times. We've been asked by quite a few people if we were going to do a podcast.
Well, that way I wouldn't have to sit on the camera and wonder what to do with my hands. I could just like sit here and do all kind of crazy stuff because you can see me. But I guess there's magic in seeing me too. Not that we would cut this off. It would be like
this would still be a big part of
it. Podcast. But sometimes, you know, I make funny faces. Facebook always wants to hold like the screen, like the capture screen of the live. It always has me doing something crazy like
Is there a way to pick like on YouTube, like a new screen? If
On-
you know, let us know.
Like on YouTube, yeah.
Well, on YouTube,
Facebook.
but is there a way to
Oh.
pick like on YouTube?
Oh, you
They're
said
like
like on
screen
YouTube. Okay.
that shows like if you know, please comment below and let us know.
You guys are probably like, look at Jay's face.
That's share worthy right there.
I agree.
Jay's face is share worthy.
I don't agree.
Funky.
I retract that statement. I don't agree.
Just kidding.
I don't agree. Okay, so
this is, intimate relationships is the topic of today. So this is something Jay and I are really excited to talk about because actually before we go into that, we've had a lot of shows about healthy living. And so while healthy living is a very important aspect of the holistic life, there are so many other things that go into it because it's mindset, it's spirit, it's your body with the health, it's intimate relationships, friendships, it's your free time, it's travel, it's your hobbies. I mean, there's so much that goes into it.
But I think that's all a part of healthy living. So
Exactly.
We're not really getting off the topic of healthy living. It's still a intricate part of healthy living. But, some people think healthy living just has to do with the physical and nutritional
and
aspect.
The food and the weight loss and everything else.
Which isn't true. So we're getting away from the food aspect, yes, but we're touching into like other aspects of healthy living. And I really love this kind of stuff. Like the healthy living, the eating, the physical stuff, that's awesome too. But this is what we're going to get into tonight. And hopefully we can go kind of like off the cuff. Because like we can talk about stuff like this, and I think it's some things that people should know. And mind you, what we're going to talk about, there's no secrets. There's no secrets. It's very, very simple stuff, and hopefully, if
it may be stuff you've known or didn't think about in a while, right?
And hopefully if it's something like you guys are going through in a relationship or you're getting ready to get into a relationship, you can like circle back to some of these things and be like, okay, cool. Yeah. Or, whatever.
Well, too, this is a collaborative forum. So even though we are the ones here, spurring the conversation and starting the conversation, you may have great tips that go along. So
throw something in the holla at us.
Throw it, holla. Hey, Rebecca. Hey, Carrie. Hey, Antonia. Hey, Christina.
What?
Welcome.
Antonia's on?
Yes.
Holla. Okay.
Holla.
All right.
Holla, everybody.
Should we get into it?
Yeah, let's get into it. Word. That's like my new thing.
Word.
Or maybe my old thing. I don't know. Word
is your new thing?
I don't know if I've been doing it a while. I noticed I did a lot this weekend.
No,
Word.
I'm just saying word period is...
Oh, don't tell anybody. It's my new thing.
I think they already know. I don't have to tell them. They already know word is old. What are you talking about? Don't tell them.
I don't know.
Don't tell them.
He always calls me out when I don't know stuff.
It's like saying dope. Dope is my new thing. Dope is only like
dope is from The Simpsons.
Did in high school. My point exactly. You know how long The Simpsons been on TV?
Only a couple of years. I'm just kidding. I know better.
Let's get into it.
All right. So intimate relationships. Jay, you start.
Well, are we talking about intimate relationships or are we talking about communication? What are we really talking about?
You spark it. Go.
Okay.
I'm putting you on the spot.
She's
put
me
on the spot.
She's putting me on the spot.
Hi. I haven't seen you in 4 days. I just got home 30 minutes ago. He just pulled away from me.
Intimate relationships.
How intimate was that? Lori said, I'm bringing back word. Thanks, Lori. I love you.
No, that is not a safe. All right. When I mean, you can look at intimate relationships in many ways, but tonight, for the sake of, I don't know, whatever, we're going to say intimate relationships as between boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, significant other, partners, things of that nature. And one of the major things, and you guys already know this, like totally major thing with relationships, period, I don't care, is communication. Because guys, girls, whatever, many of the guys will be like, well, women think, we're supposed to read their minds. Guys, we do it too. Like, let's just be totally honest. We do it too. So there's
So true.
a level of expectation that we have for that other person. May it be, you feeling they should know what you're thinking. Like, we're not X-Men. Like, there's no freaking superheroes here. So you have to talk, you have to communicate. And another thing is, like, yes, we're all speaking English, but we say totally different things and mean totally different things. So you could say something one thing and your significant other can hear it a totally different way. Like, and what we have to do is, people want to say, like, well, say what you mean or whatever, but I feel that's not fair. So you should learn how to communicate with your partner. And sometimes it's like learning a new language.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sometimes it's Greek, sometimes it's Chinese, and sometimes you're like, hey, let's go out for pizza. And they can be like, oh my God, I've been trying to lose weight. Why would you say something like that? And you're like, what the hell just happened? So communication is very, very, very key. Very, very key. And men and women both, I feel, don't communicate enough. I think over communication is okay as well until you learn how to communicate. And we've only been married for only a year, but those of you who know people who've been married for a while will tell you, like, communication is key. You don't just marry somebody, or a lot of people don't get married now, or you're with that person for a long period of time and they stay the same. Like, we don't stay the same. We're constantly learning, we're constantly evolving, we're constantly growing. So is your relationship. So if you get in a relationship and you get stuck, your relationship probably is going to fail. So it's constant communication. It's continued learning. It's continued doing the stuff that you did beforehand. You can't get complacent. And I know some women might say, yes, he needs to keep on buying me flowers and doing the stuff he did when we first started dating. Or some of y'all do.
I mean, I was like, whoa.
Some of y'all.
Hold on.
Some of y'all.
Hold up.
Not all. See, look, you just proved my point. Not all of y'all. But, that's a two-way street. So, the same thing you were doing in the dating phase, the courting phase, whatever phase you want to call it, to get your significant other, you need to still continue to do those things.
Or even evolve.
Or, yes, definitely evolve.
I mean, some of the things that we did in the beginning may not be things that we continue to have passion in.
This is true.
Right? So maybe some of the things that worked in the beginning may not continue to work throughout the evolution of the relationship. Okay. And that's why it's always good to continue to check in with each other and to continue to learn and grow and see, like, how's this going? Is there anything else you want to do? And sometimes those types of questions don't always elicit the responses. When you're talking about spending time together, it's so powerful to spend time together. I mean, it's so powerful because you get to know each other, you get to be around each other, you get to learn from each other, especially if you're spending time together, like doing activities, or maybe like, oh, you're dying, go.
No,
go. Oh wait, I'm like, go.
No, I was just gonna say it really depends on the person and the individual. I mean, because some people love spending time together. They love it. Like, 24/7, whatever. They're at work, texting each other, calling each other, which is cool if that's for you. And then you may have a situation where you guys love each other, but you spend time apart. And then you have those relationships where one person wants to be real lovey-dovey, huggy, whatever, and the other person is like, all right, cool, I see you, move around. And that switches from person to person, but you still need to gauge that situation. And like we do some things together. And I remember when we first started dating seriously, Jen put some of the things she loved doing on the back burner because, you know, she felt that she was missing out on time with me. I
don't remember that.
Of course you don't. I spend a lot of time by myself. So I'm like, okay, good. Go have fun. You're good. She's like, well, don't you want to? I'm like, no, I'm good.
Oh, that's right. I remember now.
You know, I'm a homebody. Yeah. You know, she's like, well, I want to go do such and such. I'm like, all right, cool. Go do such and such.
And I would feel guilty.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I should be spending time with him, which is still important. But
I'm like, just go. Have your fun. Me and Nietzsche will like kick it. Nietzsche's our dog.
Well, and I think it depends on your personality, right? Because
totally,
you know, when that would happen. So for me, I'm really fueled by going out and meeting people and being moving and on the go. And so since Jay's a homebody, I wanted to stay home with him because
I get socially claustrophobic at times.
He does. So I'll bring him out, and then sometimes he's like over in the corner twiddling his thumbs because he's done. Like it was enough. And I'm like, oh God, do I leave? Do I not? So it creates like an extra layer of pressure where like when he's at home, like he's in his happy place. And sometimes I'm over twiddling my thumbs like, come on, let's go. And I think the other aspect of that, what we just talked about, is with him saying, you know, go do your thing. I think that you really appreciate your time by yourself. Like, I know you love me and I know that you want to spend time with me, but the time by yourself helps you to rejuvenate and helps to refuel you.
Right.
So that you can show up even stronger for me.
Exactly.
And then same with me, like I like having my time apart as well, because I feel like it creates that extra special excitement and granted right now, for me, time apart, like I know I'm away a lot for work, but for me, that's, I know it's time apart physically because we're not together, but for me, I feel like there's two different layers of time apart. Because there's the time apart where I'm working. So like my mind is occupied on like work stuff versus time apart when I'm doing something I love. I feel like they're two different things. I know it's still time apart. And sometimes I struggle with that because it's like, oh my God, I'm gone a lot. So then I want to spend time with Jay. And so it's finding that balance in our relationship. Like you have to find the balance in your intimate relationship with what that means to each of you. So like Lori said, going back to the communication, she said communication is a huge component. Without it, there's misunderstandings and assumptions, yes. And that's never good.
Yeah, Lori, yes.
So like what we're talking about right there, I may assume or he may assume, maybe Jay is assuming and like as soon as Jenny gets home, she's going to be completely 1,000% available for me for the entire weekend. Meanwhile, I've made plans to do this and plans to do that, and then we fight, right. And we butt heads, and we get frustrated.
Right.
And then sometimes without communication, you distance,
mm-hmm.
You get mad, you distance, you get mad, you distance, you get mad. I mean, it just creates a lot of extra stress.
There's little like there's friction. There's friction, and with the assuming, like, you know, you're assuming that the other person might be upset, and you know, they're just in their own world. So then that starts a riff, you know, or my thing is like, she moves so fast sometimes she like slams cabinets and stuff. And so I'll automatically go to she's pissed off, you know, and I'm like, what's going on? What's wrong? Why are you slamming stuff? Why are you mad? And she's like, no, you know, it's just her thing. So it's little stuff like that too. But, you know, communication is like super, super key. I don't think you can stress it like enough.
Well, with the communication thing, it reminds me of when there's times when maybe you feel the energy is shifted, or maybe the other person's snapping at you or getting a little testy with you. And so we've learned and we've practiced like versus like taking offense to that and taking it personal, to at least check in. I mean, we're not perfect with this, but to check in with each other and be like, okay, hey, you know what happened?
Right.
Is this coming at me? Is this coming at something else? And I remember when we were out of town, I think we were at like a brunch or breakfast place, and I was really like snippy. And he just calmly asked me like, hey, what else is happening? Like, what's going on? And I was like, oh, I'm just so annoyed about, I don't even remember what I was annoyed about, but you might.
No.
Okay. You've got like all this great memory. So like, he asked me like, what's going on? And there were other things that I was annoyed about. I was annoyed about da 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 da, and it was projecting out a little bit towards him, and it allowed me to check myself and be like, stop.
That's a good point too. And sometimes depending on like your work situation or your school situation, family situation, there's all these different variables that come into like who you are. And then like you have to go home, and if you have not only your significant other but kids, you have to share that space and that energy as well. I think it's very, very important for you to protect your space and your energy with the people that you love. And sometimes we lash out unintentionally. So if you had a stressful day at work, or I think you should put that out in the forefront and be like, look, I just want to let you guys know work was shit today. Like my boss is a jerk, and I'm gonna need about 20 minutes. Like, so please, if you can, just let me get my woo-woos on, my on, let me displace this energy so I can honor you guys with this, because if you don't, I might explode and there's going to be friction in the house for, reasons you guys didn't even know or do anything about. So,
and if possible, before even coming home, maybe you can stay in your car and use that time and come in when you're ready. It's another option, but if that's not plausible, you do have to set that communication tone, or, call your spouse or significant other or intimate relationship person, on the way home and say, hey, I'm going to be a couple minutes late because I need to just.
My thing, no matter what mood I'm in, like if you put on some Bruno Mars or some Justin Timberlake, something that's just going like, I can't be upset. I can't do it because, that's, well, music for me, that's my thing. So if you put me in a different zone that is going to make me feel good and feel happy, like that other negative energy is just like gone. So you should find that thing and know what your significant other thing is too. Because I guarantee if, I came in like, she's like, what's wrong? Like nothing. And she's like, all right, cool. Justin Timberlake or some Bruno. I'd be like,
he just gave me a really good tip. I'm going to this just logged into my head.
She's going to forget it.
No, I'm not. I'm going to remember this. This is a really impactful, powerful moment.
We're going to come back to this.
No,
and she's going to forget it.
No, I'm going to put these songs on my phone. I'm actually paying attention now.
No.
Yeah, no, seriously, because I've been moving so fast that sometimes he would share things with me and I didn't retain them because I was like paying attention, but I wasn't retaining. There you go. That's better. That's a more eloquent way of putting it.
She was hearing but not listening.
I wasn't retaining.
Hearing but not listening.
Whatever you say. But I'm taking that. He just dropped like a huge wisdom on me. I am going, next time you're grumpy, I'm just going to crank up your favorite song or songs.
I do this all the time, people.
Dude, I'm so excited for this. Okay. So we're talking a ton about communication, but really the reason we're talking about this is because this sets the foundation for why we were talking about, why it's important to spend time apart. Like you've got the aspect of spending time together and building that relationship. Right. And think about, especially at the beginning, it's like, I want to spend all the time with you, because you're so excited. You want to get to know them. It's all happy and it's crazy and it's fun. But Jay has always been a huge supporter, and myself too, but this was really important for me, and why I really liked and really fell for Jay is that, he was always a big... I'm making him blush. Is he blushing?
It's the smile. She fell
Is he
for the
blushing?
Smile. No.
But it's like he has always been good at supporting me doing my thing. Even though I had my own hesitations and my own things to overcome with, being comfortable and okay with that, him supporting me in my thing has been extremely powerful, and it helps me to continue to grow as an individual so I don't stagnate. I'm going to pause on that because Rebecca said something pretty powerful. And we want to say, hey, Rachel. Hey, Rachel. Oh, that was cool. All right. So Rebecca said, great point, Jenny. Eric and I have to check in, especially when work ramps up and we have to travel along with raising 3 kiddos. Even though we work together, home life can be taken over by work. finding that balance can be challenging for sure. So thanks, Rebecca, for sharing that. So one thing I was going to say is with me traveling so much when I'm home, I want to spend a lot of time with Jay, and we'll do things and we'll connect. But I have recently been getting the itch to play softball again. And so I just started playing again, and I'm extremely excited. And the level of softball that I want to play at does take a lot of time and travel and practice and resources, etc. So what was amazing is one time I came home from a trip, and Jay knows how much I love playing softball and how much like I've missed it not playing it. And I came home, and in the living room, he had bought me a batting tee, like a tee to hit off of. And he bought me this huge net that I can hit into so that way I can go up by myself if I don't have anybody to go with and shag balls. And it was like set up in the living room when I got home. And it was so awesome because he, went and picked it and found it. And that was a huge way to be like, I support you. Like, I want you to go play softball. I want you to go tap into this passion again. And so from your perspective, even though I'm not home as much and we don't spend as much time, why did you choose to support me in doing my own thing? Like, talk about it from that aspect.
Makes you happy. That's the thing. It makes you happy. So why wouldn't I want to support you doing something that you not only makes you happy, but you freaking love? Like, that would be selfish if you were like, oh, I want to get back to playing softball. And I'm like, well, those days are over.
That would be sad.
See?
But you could be like, well, I mean, the fact that you have to go to multiple states to play, that's a lot. You already travel a lot, baby. Like, now you're going to be gone even more.
Well,
so why not step in and, like, how do you choose when you're going to go ahead and say support that away time? Where do you feel like that, like between spending good, healthy time together and supporting the away part of it?
I feel like when you get into a serious committed relationship, you get into a serious committed relationships, a lot of people look at that like they have to lose themselves in a relationship. It's no longer like me, it's me and you, which is true to an extent. But my view on a relationship is you're two individuals who have to come to a compromise to make this thing work. And like I told you, like before we started dating, like no matter how serious this gets, I will never get in the way of your dreams and the things that make you happy. And I will do everything in my power to support you and support that. So knowing how much that you love the sport, I'm going to do everything that I can. Because if you go to these things, or you play, especially at the level that you're playing at, which is something you've been wanting to do for years, you come home happy. You come home, it makes you want to do stuff that's going to better your ability to keep on playing. So when before it was like, I feel like crap because I can't fit in my clothes, or I have to go get in a new wardrobe because I keep on gaining weight. The energy has shifted to, holy shit, I'm playing on a competitive level. I'm going to the gym. Not I need to go to the gym. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to the batting cages. I'm going to, practice to build up these skills so I can do that, which in turn it helps, the physical aspect, because it's no longer, oh, I need to go to the gym so I'm not overweight. It's like you're wanting to do these things, and then that makes you happy. So in turn, you come home a much more happier wife. Everybody wins.
Okay, so with what you're saying about, it helps make me be happy, right? So the significant other's happy from it. But you're also, what you're talking about is the fact that it's a dream of mine. It's a passion. But what do you do when and if, like, let's say I want to go meet my friends at the bar, or I want to go hang out with friends. I mean, that's a passion, right? You're hanging out with your friends, but that's a totally different direction. So, how do you find and how do you support? Because this whole thing is about, spending time together, but why it's so important to spend time apart.
I think too, it gives you something to talk about. Like, I'm not a big drinker. I drink occasionally, and especially I don't do beer. I don't care for beer. I don't whatever. So hanging out at a bar, that's not my thing. I'd rather go do something else, and you enjoy that on your own. So I would draw the line in that situation if it was like a super frequent thing, like
Well, what's frequent? So
every other night.
Okay, right. So see, like that's his expectation of what frequent is. So maybe for me, and this is not the case, but this is to help, help you to decide in your relationship and give you some speaking points is, maybe for me, every other night is normal and I'm okay with seeing him every other night. But he said his line is drawn at every other, like that's too much. So you got to work with your partner.
Let me clarify too.
Okay.
It's not just the hanging out aspect. It's the drinking. Like for me, for like whatever situation. I'm not talking about Jen. I'm just talking about whatever situation. Because usually some people, they stay out late and they're social drinkers. So one drink turns into 6 or 7, and then I don't enjoy being around drunk people. That's never been my thing. I just don't like that energy, and I prefer not to be around it. So. Sometimes I feel hanging out with, friends at a bar every other night and it turns into a late night, you're not getting home late and you're probably drunk. That's not cool with me. That's not my thing. So we would have to come to some kind of understanding, or some kind of compromise. And I mean, if that's what my significant other wanted to do, like I don't want to turn it to like, oh, you're stopping me from hanging out with my friends. No, I don't. That's not what it is. For me, it would be you come home late and you're usually intoxicated. And this is I'm speaking from past relationships. People don't think Jenny's a lush because she's not. But for me, a past relationships, the significant other would drink and they would be intoxicated, and I that's just not my thing. That's just not my thing. Like if that's your idea of fun, I'd rather be by myself.
Well, and I mean, I think that the key to take away from all of this is just having those conversations, and it's not going to happen overnight. I mean, it's going to happen over time where you're continuing to define, because it's always a learning curve. Like him and I went through that drinking thing where I came back after a work social event and I had a couple and I was like, woo, having fun. I thought he was ready to have fun too and scream and party with me. And he was just like not having it. And it created a little bit of tension, but then we were able to unpack it and understand. So just be willing to be patient.
You got to tell the whole story.
Well, I didn't want to go. I mean,
basically it was anniversary.
I didn't want to go there.
The hotel.
Oh my god!
Hotel sent up.
You look so bad.
Hotel sent up like a bottle of champagne and like chocolate covered strawberries.
I'm so upset with you right now.
So it was kind of a big deal. That was kind of blown off because it was a work thing. So I mean,
I learned. It's true. There was more to it, but the point was.
I didn't want you to
able to talk about it some more.
I didn't want you to put it out there and be like, people just be like, oh, just because you're at work and you came home drunk, he was pissed. No. There was a reason.
But that's the thing, because if it's an instant piss, I can assume that it's over this or over that or make up this story or that story, right? And go a whole direction. You don't care about me. You don't love me. There's all kinds of ways you can go. So the point is of everything is once we were able to talk about it when the situation calmed down, we were able to talk to each other. What does it mean for you when this happens? What does it mean for you when that happens? Is this important to you? Like both of us were able to express how we felt about the situation and understand and move forward.
Indeed.
And, you know, I'm going to go back because Rebecca and Lori both made some really good comments. So Rebecca said, you know, to you supporting me with softball and getting me the stand, she said, "Oh, that's amazing. Great guy. It took a long time for me to be okay with traveling to see my girlfriends for an away weekend. I always felt I was leaving my family for friends, but I got to a point where Eric was kicking me out of the house because he knew I needed that time."
You go, Eric.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's also, I mean, you guys start to learn each other more.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lori said, "That's great to have that, Jenny. My husband plays soccer all the time. It's an outlet for him. It's a passion. It's a need. I encourage it even though it's time away from me a lot, but I see it as a positive outlet."
And two, I have the house to myself, and I get to turn up old school hip hop music as loud as I want. What?
And when I'm away and I'm not here in the evenings, he sleeps diagonal across the bed and wraps himself in the covers, which drives me crazy because I like them all straight. So I'm like, "What are you doing?" You know, but he's like, "Yes, I got freedom."
As long as I got the covers on, I'm good. Like the sheet could be to one side, as you know. As long as I'm not cold, I'm straight.
And Bruce said, "I made it." Hey, Bruce.
What up, Bruce?
And Rebecca just said, "This is a real conversation. Love this topic," which is so true. I mean, the whole like together away, I think regardless of where you're at in your relationship, it's going to continue to evolve. You're going to continue have to check in with each other, redefine expectations. If there's tension, you got to check in with each other. Like there's no power in like holding on to that energy and that frustration, because holding on to that creates a lot of stress, creates a lot of like discontent, and then you got to carry that with you.
Bruce just jumped on, which definitely sparked something else for me. Like I think it's also good for you guys to find activities that you enjoy by yourselves as well as together. So like there's some things we enjoy doing together, like snorkeling. We love snorkeling.
And we didn't know that when we first started dating. That's a newfound love and passion.
So we got all kind of snorkel gear because that's something we enjoy doing. She enjoys softball. I could care less about softball, but the fact that she loves softball, you know, I enjoy softball because I enjoy her coming home and she telling me, you know, how she ran down a ball or she played a different position and they kicked ass or whatever, because that makes her happy, you know?
And on the other side of that, you know, Jay plays these guitars.
Wait, well,
hold on. Let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish. Jay plays guitars and instruments. And honestly, I don't understand any of that. And I don't really care about guitars. However, as he continues to learn, I will gladly let him serenade me with his amazingness.
Thank you for clearing that up, because I didn't want anybody to jump on and be like, "Oh, play something." Learning.
Yeah, I mean, like, I will happily be okay. Listen, I love like the stuff that doesn't, but he's still good at the stuff that doesn't sound good, because I don't know the difference. It all sounds good to me. So that's what's amazing, because he doesn't really know jack about softball. And that's cool, because he wouldn't know if I was telling left or right. And I don't know jack about music, so I don't know. I'm like, "Baby, that's really good." And he's like, nah, I missed every tone. And I'm like, "I don't know, it all sounds good to me." You know, and it doesn't always have to be that way, but it's really, I mean, I could be like, "Oh my God, why are you doing that? Why aren't you doing it?" Well, whatever, he loves it, right?
It works.
It works.
And like you can bring that into your.
Bruce said, "Play that funky music," but he's not a white boy.
me and Bruce are gonna start a band called the Two Bald Guys.
Yes, love it.
But no, you can bring that into the relationship. Like I learn about softball through her, and she gets to enjoy learning different types of music through me, because she's discovered she likes and enjoys certain type of music she didn't listen to before, like we were together.
And that's one of I mean, sitting around all of him and his music friends. So if any of you are watching this right now or watching the replay, I love you guys. But the first couple times I hung out with you, I had no idea what you all were speaking a totally different language. I mean, I was just sitting over the corner like, I have no idea what these people are talking about. They're all having a blast, but it's exactly what he said. You're learning something new. So there's a lot that can be learned from those things. But also there's that middle ground, right? You're not really into hiking. I love hiking, but he'll still come and do that with me. So he's not completely like, no, you go do your own thing. He chooses to share that with me, right? And he loves walking around like cities and history. And I'm like, it's not something that really gets me excited, but I like doing it with him because I still learned something about it. I'm not going to be like, oh, go walk that city by yourself. Go to that museum by yourself. Have a blast. I mean, I still enjoy it, but it wouldn't be my top choice. But we get to learn from each other. And hiking sure wouldn't be his top choice.
Oh God, no.
But he still comes with me, and I try to take him on the hikes that he'll enjoy. And then he lets me go on like the big crazy hikes, like, you know, like let's go do a through hike or let's go do something crazy, climb up, you know, 14,000 footer. Yeah. He's like, you go do that, go hang out with your friends.
Enjoy.
And that all came from communication. That all came from understanding, that came from supporting each other.
And being open and, you know, understanding that you don't have to be under each other all the time.
So, I mean, we could talk about this all night. I mean, I can't believe I just looked down at the time. We're already gone 40 minutes.
This conversation was easy.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
easy.
And I'll look down and see if there's any questions.
You guys should ask us like more questions. This is like, this conversation is a breeze.
And I mean, if this is something you want to talk about more, you can join us in the Healthy Philosophies group. You can request to join in there, answer the questions, and then we will let you in. And then we can talk about it more there. So that group, while we're small at the moment, we're really building it up to be a really powerful community. So you can come get support, go a little deeper from these conversations, because these are good. These are great conversation starters, but we want to give you more in the group and go deeper, because as you see, 40 minutes went by
quickly,
so fast.
And I don't, one of my main goals, I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for Jen. We had some combined goals, and then we had some stuff we wanted to do like on our own. But one of my goals is to help people, like just in general, not with like the physical aspect and like eating cleaner and better, but with your relationships and with your emotional well-being. All that plays a huge role in your healthy holistic life. So yes, we'll have the conversations about, you know, the superfoods and, you know, working out and stuff like that, but conversations like this too is very, very important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've enjoyed this today, and we'll continue to get different topics. And if you have anything that has to do with holistic living that you want to learn more about, message us, reach out, comment, etc., because we can work that into the content schedule. Because right now we're driving a lot of the topics, but we want you to drive the topics. We want to give you what you're looking for. So let's talk about next week. So excited. Now, next week, this is something that we specifically put together for, and let me double check, because I actually just got a text, and let me make sure before I announce this. Yay. Okay, cool. So I got confirmation. I'm going to make sure. So next week, we are having a guest speaker on the show. We haven't had a guest speaker in like a while, so it's time.
It was last month.
I know, but it feels like a while.
Whoa.
So I'm excited to bring a guest speaker on. So we've put this next show together. It's for the parents. There's still a lot, if you're not a parent or not a parent yet, or maybe your kids are grown, you can still learn a lot from this topic. But we were getting a lot of questions from our friends who have children, and how do we, you know, do all this healthy living for our children? How do we take care of our children? How do we help them if they have sensory issues? How do we help them if, you know, they're picky eaters, or how do we help them get their greens? Like, that is a big part of what's happening next week. So we are having Tara DeToco on. She has over 20 years of experience as a holistic health practitioner, and she has focused and specialized on gut health and cellular nutrition, as well as kids. So she's helped kids with sensory issues and other things like that, and helped parents with that journey. So we really wanted to help give you moms and dads some tools and some things. So I know you guys have questions, especially those of you who are on your first baby or first kid. Even if you're in your 10th kid, it doesn't matter. You probably still have questions. But I know that that's always a fun journey to figure out. You know, maybe your baby has like a skin rash, or maybe, you know what I'm saying? So this is where you can bring your questions, and this is a perfect time to ask them, because she has specialized in this.
So We love the live questions. The live questions are awesome. Sometimes we may not get to them all. So if you really want to get your question answered, shoot us a message and we'll definitely put it in the queue. Or PM us if you want to be anonymous. That's perfectly fine. Let us know, and we will leave you anonymous, and we'll ask the question on your behalf, and you can just tune in and listen. So that's the best way. And I mean, you can post questions in the live as well, and we'll get back to those if we miss those. But the best bet, if you want your question answered, shoot us, holla at us.
Holla at us. Holla. So before we sign off, I got to let you know what Bruce said.
What did Bruce say?
He said, I enjoy skydiving alone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we talk. I know that.
I was like, yes,
his
awesome.
his Jen doesn't like skydiving. Bruce, I want to take you up on that. I'm willing to go skydiving.
Have fun.
I'm willing to go skydiving.
I might do it, but I'd be scared. I'd be like, you'd have to push me on the plane.
I'm willing to go skydiving.
Yeah, you all can do that together. So thank you guys for joining us live. We're so excited. Definitely join us next week. Keep tuned on the page this week. You'll get more information about Tara. Send us your questions.
If you want to join the group,
I'll post it in here. So
answer the 3 questions.
Healthy philosophies.
We talk about food. We geek out on we geek out. We geek out on like health, fitness, relationships. Like she said, we're just trying to build that up to a community where like-minded people who want to live their best lives. So yeah.
Period.
And
Bruce said done. So I guess you're in. Score. Yes. All right. See you guys next week. Hold on. Got it? Hold on. It's still going. I gotta press another button.